Hello everyone and welcome to Gurukul Online Learning Network. Today we're covering the topic of Introduction to Debate and World School Debating Championship and their roles. So today we're covering reply speeches. I am Ayanadip and without further ado, let's get started. Now, remember one thing. As mentioned before, the order of the opposite replies is that the opposition reply goes first and the government reply goes second. Reply speeches are typically of 4 minutes, and this is a general summary of the debate, and we will talk more in depth about it. So one thing to remember, whips of both teams cannot give reply speeches. Why is that? Because the last speaker of their team, the opposition whip, cannot come in and give another speech just after they have finished their own speech. So if an opposition whip comes in and then gives a reply, they will have to give 2 speeches simultaneously. That is forbidden by the rules, and this is why whips cannot give reply speeches. So as expected, who are the ones who can give reply speeches? The Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister of the government or proposition side, and the Leader of Opposition and the Deputy Leader of Opposition of the opposition side. So make sure your whips aren't ready to give the reply speeches. And the reply speeches are generally not that important in a typical debate, but in WSDC, it is important in the stage. So remember, in reply speeches, you cannot come in and break any arguments. You cannot come in and give a rebuttal to the argument that the opposition whip has given. So opposition whip is not supposed to give any arguments, but what I'm talking about here is the rebuttals to the rebuttal that the opposition whip has given. You cannot come in and just start rebutting the rebuttals of the opposition whip or the government whip. So you need to make sure you're not breaking any arguments, you're not breaking any rebuttals. Come in and do not have a note of the rebuttals that you're going to tackle. Just come in and give a general summary of the debate. Now, what should we do during a reply speech? During a reply speech, you need to answer any lingering question that the adjudicator may have. So for example, if the debate has gone on and you notice that some of your arguments were not covered by the opposition at all, they left it, and it is still very important to the debate. For the example that I have been giving for a long time, the freedom fighters and their sons and daughters getting a free education pass. Now, if in here the opposition just comes in and chooses not to reply to any of the arguments that you have and just come in and give every single arguments that they have, touch up on just small points that are not that important to the debate, you can just come in and show the adjudicator the look. Our points are still standing, and that is why this debate is still ours, even if the opposition says the different. So come in, give an answer to the adjudicator. Now, another situation where there may be lingering questions, like the opposition whip may come in and forget to answer some questions that the government has said. So during argumentation, the government may give a lot of questions as burdens to the opposition, and the opposition may do the same. The opposition has a lot of questions to answer. Since this is a 60-minute debate, it is going to have a lot of those arguments and questions. So these questions that were left by your whip, you can come in and answer them. But remember, as always, do not break any arguments. Just come in and give a question. For example, the opposition has come in and asked us why it shouldn't be about the general people. As my Deputy Prime Minister and the whip has talked about, this logic or why this question is answered, and then you can go on and talk about the other topics. Then you can also do this from the opposition side, because the opposition reply goes first. You can further improve your whip speech by giving answers to some basic questions that were left out by the proposition. So you can also come in and say that as my opposition whip has given in his rebuttal, we can see these questions were answered, and some of the questions that were left by this proposition side, we still ask if the proposition can give answer to that. So this way, you are also baiting the government to come in and give an argument. But if they are intelligent enough, this won't happen. But in the end, this is still your duty to come in and ask if the proposition is still in the right. Because in the end, in a debate, there is no fixed, this is right, this is wrong. A debate is meant to be here to give ideas and to explore the ideas of different parts that we have in everyday questions. So make sure you answer any lingering questions that the adjudicator may have, and answer any question that the government is still asking and your whip has just forgotten or like brushed past it. Make sure your arguments are also justified through these questions, and make sure it adds to your case as a whole. Do not bring in any new argument or rebuttal. Why is this so important? Because reply speeches aren't meant to be the speeches in a debate. In a debate, you need to think about arguments beforehand. You need to rebut them on the spot. You cannot just wait till the debate has finished and then come in and say, all right, this new argument that has been given. Remember, even whips cannot bring in new arguments. So why you, as a reply speech, can come in and bring in new arguments? So make sure your arguments you're not bringing in any new arguments, and your rebuttals, make sure they're like in a question form. Do not come in and say that, okay, I have a rebuttal to what the opposition whip has says. All right, I have a rebuttal to what the deputy said. That does not matter, because the debate has played out already. The main part of the debate is complete. So the judge will only take in what has been said so far before the reply speech, not after the reply speech. The reply speech is supposed to be a summary of the whole debate and not the debate itself. So this reply speech is different from what we are talking about in general. So make sure no arguments or rebuttals. If you want to rebut something, question them. Summarize. This is very important, because the whole idea of a reply speech is to summarize what has been given. So you've seen 48 minutes of debate being played out, and now you have 4 minutes to summarize it. Now, in reply speeches, a lot of people think it's like the whip's job to summarize the whole debate and give them why you win. To be honest, that's quite close, but you need to also remember that you cannot rebut their arguments through your summary. You can just come in and show that, all right, so this was what has been spoken so far. Our proposition has given the idea that this privilege is deserved because of the actions they did, whereas the opposition has come in and told us that this should be a much more general idea and not the single thing that they're talking about. Privilege needs to be earned. So in the end, if you come in and say that, all right, I don't take anything into account. So in the end, what I want to talk about is that our side wins due to us having a better argumentation, stuff like that. Make sure you're summarizing the debate so that you win. Again, remember, debate is a sport, not a friendly competition. In this sport, you need to win. So in the end, you need to show that your side is the better because of whatever has been talked. Summarize it to the point that it looks appealing to the judge, that the judge thinks of this summary and thinks, all right, so yeah, this was spoken. This was also spoken. Remind the judge that what you have spoken about so far is something that they should take into consideration. Remember, again, since there are no new arguments, you need to repeat your arguments that you have talked about. And this is not an 8-minute speech, so you don't have much time. You need to come in, tell them about the summary, tell what you have talked about, make pointers like, well, our first argument was this, second argument was this. You don't need to talk about every single layer that has been spoken in the debate. You can take the core general idea and then tell them that, okay, look, this was what we have talked about, and this is the primary winning point of the debate. Remember, if the opposition or proposition has left out something, that's something you can tackle them upon. That is something that they have not taken it on. So if it is very important to the debate, to the point it can make you win the debate, remember to bring it up during your reply speech. Say that, all right, after all the argumentation, we have seen no reply about this specific argument from the opposition or proposition. So for this, I think the importance that this argument carries is something we should consider and something that should win us the debate. And remember, this summary is all about what has gone on so far. So bring in your whip speech too. Don't think that, all right, whips were all about rebuttals. Don't think that. Come in and say that, all right, the whip has spoken about this. This was a rebuttal to their own rebuttal. And how does this affect the debate still? How does my whip's rebuttal surpasses the rebuttal of the proposition or opposition? So show that you're still in the front foot. Show that you're still the one that should be the primary winner of this debate, and show that this is the most important part of the debate and this is why we win. This may sound repetitive, but this is something that a lot of people forget, that this summary is very important to the debate as it links back to the motion. As always, I have talked about linking back to the motion. So when you link your whole speech back to the motion, you show the adjudicator why you should be taken into consideration, why you're the most important, why your arguments are the most important, and it still surpasses your opposition's arguments due to these reasons. So make sure you're summarizing it to the point, and make sure the summary is not just a rundown of how this happened, and make sure it's done properly. Structure it well, make it precise, and present it well. So if your presentation is good and the points are valid, of course, this reply speech will be taken into account. So a lot of people think that, okay, so the judges give their verdict beforehand, like after the 48 minutes is done. A lot of judges don't take reply speech into account, but that's not true, because if your reply speech is actually important to the debate, the judge will definitely take it into account and may even reconsider their judgment. So make sure your reply speech is good. Now, what have we learned? The structure of a reply speech, but I need you to understand that reply speech is just not for show. Reply speech is also important to the debate if you yourself can show that it's important to the debate. Do not just come in with a haphazard written speech where you just come in and say, okay, this happened, that happened. Make sure you're proving why your team is still winning, why your team is still the best out there, and why your team's arguments are still standing. As mentioned, the pillar. Make sure the building that you're building is complete. Make sure you haven't left it out just like that. If you're going to make a building, make sure that building is going to withstand, and make sure that building is well prepared. Do not just go in and take a short amount of bricks, build it just like for living, and then break it down. Make sure you are taking it into account that reply speech is also important. Reply speech needs to be good, and if you've done a well job at it, you may even win a debate on it. So make sure reply speeches are taken into account, and make sure you have a good reply speech to it. As mentioned, 1, point out the lingering questions, point out how your arguments are still standing, point out why the rebuttals that the opposition has given are still much more important to the debate, point out why the rebuttals that the opposition has given does not harm your argument as a whole, and it still is very important, point out why your team did the good job and why your team was the best out there, why your team wins this debate. Remember, debate is about winning. Debate is not just a friendly banter. So have the winning mentality. Remember why you win. Point out why you win. Show the judge why you win. Answer any questions that may bring in any new thing into the judge's head, like, oh, I should have considered this, or I should have considered that. And after it, when you're done, if you've done a well job, the judge may even reconsider. So thank you so far. If you like this video, make sure to share it. And if you have any questions, do leave them in the comment section.